Really the one that went viral, but I didn't see anybody. They're gonna plaster the bad news, so I didn't see if any other.
I think May said it correctly. We don't want to sit here and say the wrong thing about somebody with the disease. But when did you learn that they were niggas?
Yeah.
There's niggas on the stage, right? You saying Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx on stage?
Well, Jamie Foxx wasn't on stage. Jamie Foxx commented, but it
Who
was
was on
Michael
stage?
B. and
Michael B.
Delroy Lindo. They were both
And the
sinners.
guy from
Yeah.
Malcolm X.
See on Shade Room, but I'm gonna make it clear I don't get all my information from Shade Room. Even if it's posted, I'll check other places to make sure. But basically, recently the BAFTAs had happened, and Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage presenting an award to somebody, and there was an invited audience member who has Tourette's who ended up blurting out the N-word, and then he said bitch while they were on stage presenting the award, and then Michael B. and Delroy kind of just bypassed it and pretended it wasn't seen. But there was actually a comment also from Jamie Foxx when the clip was posted. He said, nah, he meant that shit. Out of all the words you could have said, Tourette's makes you say that, unacceptable. So just
Who
because
said that?
Jamie Foxx. So just
I
because
love
this
Jamie.
is a trending topic, and the guy does have Tourette's and was on a main stage, what do you think of that whole situation as a whole before we move on? Because I'm curious.
I'm not sure how Tourette's work, but if I didn't do any research, I think my response would have been similar to Jamie Foxx's. I'm not sure how it works. Maybe the information from how it works could give me a different answer, but out of all of the things, you could have just went like this and said hallelujah, but you didn't say that, So I think it's about, even with Tourette's, about what are you pulling out of your subconscious, right? It has to be in there in order for you to pull it out, right? So if somebody is squeezed, pause, the only thing that comes out of a person under pressure is what's normally in them. So if it wasn't in there, it couldn't have come out. Pause.
What was he doing on stage?
So he was actually an audience member. So Jamie Foxx and then one of his co-stars were presenting the award. He was in the audience, and while they were presenting it, that nigga came out.
Why was he on stage?
Why was who on? Jamie Foxx or the?
No.
The guy with
He wasn't on stage. He was in the audience.
Oh, okay. Just
Yeah.
And he yelled it out from the crowd?
Yeah.
I ain't jacking.
Yeah, and this goes into what you feed in your brain consciously, because that's what came out.
And that's all that came out the whole show?
I can see there's other ticks, but that's clearly the one that went viral. But I didn't see anybody. They're gonna plaster the bad news, so I didn't see if any other.
I
said.
think May said it correctly. We don't want to sit here and say the wrong thing about somebody with the disease. But when did you learn that they were niggas?
Yeah.
There's niggas on the stage, right? You saying Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx on stage?
Well, Jamie Foxx wasn't on stage. Jamie Foxx commented, but it
Who
was
was on
Michael B. and
Michael B.
Delroy Lindo. They were both
And the
sinners.
guy from
Yeah.
Malcolm X, Sinners.
I don't watch Sinners. He black?
Yeah.
You should watch Sinners, by the way.
He that nigga, yo. Yeah, he knew what he said. What was it, nigga what?
Nigga bitch.
Nigga, the bitch ass niggas, that's what he meant. He meant nigga bitch.
Oh, my
Nigga bitch mean bitch ass niggas.
I want to be clear, found his other ticks, but this wasn't on the headline, of course. So throughout, he was saying also boring and fuck. So just his different ticks.
So he had different ticks throughout the show.
Yes, but that was
they
the-
highlighted
Yeah.
the nigga bitch.
Yeah.
Yo, no disrespect.
Gaslight.
Yeah, the super gaslight, but what award show was this?
The BAFTAs.
Look, I'm all for everybody being everywhere. I'm just saying.
This is why we're introverts.
Yeah. Why do you have that? You know he has a possibility of doing this, and you don't want to sit there and exclude him out of not being into awards or anything else. But this was kind of like, damn, what was we talking about the other day, murder? And I was like, you're taking away from somebody's moment. I forget what we was talking about. Drewski, yeah. And I was like, yo, he doing this at a Hall of Fame or some shit? Somebody's getting an award?
Yeah.
Whatever it was taken away. This is taking away from somebody's
This
moment.
might be the clapback.
Yeah, but
Like the Jackson Smith and Jigba. but he
right,
said
yeah,
nigga,
he said nigga, and it's like you're taking away from his moment when you do stuff like the same thing. Like I don't know was the exact award or they just talking or whatever, but that's what we're talking about more than the award show. It's like real quick, like with the Knicks, right? They win the cup, but a thumb going somebody's ass. Pause. Now you talking about that instead of the cup more than everything else. Knicks fans, oh, y'all talking about the wrong thing. Y'all talking about the wrong thing. We watched the nigga in 4K stick his thumb up the point guard ass. That was more of the topic. So certain things to me take away from the actual achievement or what should be focused on. And if that was the case, I'm not saying that certain people shouldn't be certain places, but you shouldn't have them where it's going to take away from the event that's actually going on. But I don't want to say they shouldn't be there, shouldn't participate and everything else. But if it's going to be a distraction, let's figure out where they can be at where it won't distract somebody else or the presentation at hand.
Especially because I'll add too, obviously it was broadcasted and they didn't edit that out. So kind of even like I was saying, even with the Drewski situation, how that happened and that's in all the broadcast footage, films, whatever. So that kind of does stay with them forever. And it's an unfortunate situation because it's obviously a big moment. And then even for people with Tourette's, those tics are involuntary. I remember there was a situation, this guy went viral because he had Tourette's because he was on the plane and one of his tics, he kept saying bomb. So he ended up having to get kicked off the plane because people were like, what do you mean he's saying bomb? You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know, the whole situation.
To me, it seems like this a lot. Just from the shit that they show us. I can't sit here and say I don't want the people with Tourette's saying I don't know enough about it because I don't. But when they show us shit like this, it's like, what's in them to say the wrong shit at the wrong time? How often do you say bomb at home? You get what I'm saying? Do you say bomb when you're at home? A lot. If you do, cool. Bomb's not really a good word on an airplane. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I will have to learn more about it.
And just like when it comes to the airport, they did take him off the plane, even though he had Tourette's, because they had to follow those rules. Yeah. So before somebody get upset with us about what we're sharing, we're doing the same thing they would do on the airport. You have to keep the safety of people, even if somebody is going through a mental illness.
What unfolded at the BAFTA Film Awards in February 2026 quickly became one of the most discussed moments of the entire award season, and it had almost nothing to do with the movies that actually won. The ceremony took place in London and was expected to celebrate a film called Sinners alongside a smaller British production that few people outside the UK had even heard about before that weekend, titled I Swear. That lesser-known movie is what connects this entire story. So let's begin there. I Swear draws from the real life of a man named John Davidson. He's a Scottish Tourette syndrome campaigner who has devoted decades to helping the public better understand the condition. Tourette's causes involuntary tics. For some individuals, including Davidson, those tics can appear as sudden vocal outbursts, including swearing or other words the individual cannot control and never intended to say. The film explores Davidson's journey, his diagnosis, and what everyday life is really like with a condition the world continues to misunderstand. Davidson wasn't only the inspiration behind the film, he also served as one of its executive producers, and he was present at the ceremony, seated in the audience before the event even began. BAFTA specifically informed everyone attending that Davidson would be there, and that his tics could be heard during the ceremony. According to BAFTA's official statement afterward, they informed the audience before the show started and repeated the reminder throughout the evening specifically so people would recognize that any strong language or unusual sounds they heard were completely unintentional. Then the ceremony began and Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, the two stars of Sinners, stepped out to present the very first award of the evening for Best Visual Effects, which was awarded to Avatar: Fire and Ash. And that's when everything changed. During the presentation, one of Davidson's vocal tics occurred from the audience, and it wasn't simply a random sound. It was a racial slur. The N-word was spoken loudly enough to be captured by microphones and heard throughout the venue by the live audience. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo are both black. Lindo, especially, was reportedly seen looking visibly stunned in that instant. Then, According to multiple reports, both men paused briefly, processed what had just occurred, and carried on with the presentation because the ceremony had continued. That wasn't even the only outburst during the evening. Reports afterward described several additional moments, including someone shouting for people to stay quiet during an opening speech from BAFTA's chair, and another interruption during the presentation of the award for Best Children's and Family Film. Hannah Beachler, the Oscar-winning production designer who worked on Sinners, later said publicly that one of the outbursts that evening had actually been directed toward her, and she described the entire experience as nearly impossible to sit through gracefully, despite understanding its medical cause. The show's host, Alan__, addressed the situation live more than once. At one point, he told the audience they may have heard strong language and explained that it related to how Tourette syndrome can present itself for certain people, connecting it directly to the very film being recognized that evening. Later in the broadcast, he returned to the subject once again, reminding viewers that Tourette syndrome is a disability and that the tics people were hearing were involuntary, meaning the individual experiencing them has absolutely no control over the words being spoken. Here's where the situation became even more complicated. The ceremony aired on the BBC with a 2-hour delay, which normally gives broadcasters enough time to remove anything they don't want reaching viewers. Yet the slur still appeared in the final broadcast anyway. It wasn't edited out. And that's a major reason this became such an enormous story the following day, because it wasn't only the audience inside the venue who heard it. It reached everyone watching from home as well, completely uncensored. By Monday, the backlash had grown significant enough that both BAFTA and the BBC believed they needed to address the controversy directly. The BBC released a statement acknowledging that some viewers may have heard strong and offensive language during the broadcast, explaining that it resulted from involuntary tics connected to Tourette syndrome, and that it was never intentional. While apologizing for any offense caused, BAFTA's response went even further. They issued a statement offering, in their words, an unreserved apology to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, and to everyone else affected by what had happened. They repeated that Tourette syndrome causes involuntary tics the individual cannot control, that those tics do not reflect someone's genuine beliefs, and that they had taken the matter seriously enough beforehand to warn the audience in advance. But they also acknowledged something meaningful, that the language heard that evening carried genuine trauma and real pain for many people, and that they wanted to recognize the harm instead of simply moving beyond it. It's important to pause and reflect on that, because both realities existed at exactly the same time. The tic was truly involuntary. Davidson never chose to say that word, never intended it, and according to every account has dedicated his life to building awareness around precisely this type of situation. Yet the word itself reached 2 black actors publicly on camera inside a crowded room, and that impact was equally real regardless of intent. BAFTA's statement attempted to recognize both of those truths simultaneously, which is honestly an incredibly difficult balance to strike within a single press release. Public reaction quickly divided into several different camps. Some people focus entirely on showing compassion toward Davidson, emphasizing that he never asked for this, that he had openly discussed his condition specifically so people would understand moments like these when they happened, and that attacking a disabled man for something his brain did without permission was neither fair nor helpful. A UK charity called Tourette's Action publicly stepped forward to defend him, stating that his outburst did not represent his beliefs, intentions, or character, while describing some of the media backlash directed toward him as genuinely distressing, especially considering how much effort goes into raising awareness about the condition. On the other hand, some people, including journalists and commentators, question how quickly the conversation shifted toward protecting Davidson's feelings, while seemingly overlooking what Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo had just experienced during that moment, live before everyone with absolutely no warning about exactly when or how it would personally happen to them. One widely circulated opinion from a journalist essentially questioned why people were so quick to extend compassion toward the person who uttered the slur before offering that same understanding to the 2 men who had to remain standing there and absorb it while simply doing their jobs. And that unresolved tension is ultimately the true heart of this entire story. This isn't a straightforward story of heroes and villains. It's a situation where an accessibility accommodation, welcoming someone with disability into a public setting and preparing the audience for what they might hear, collided with the very real weight certain words carry no matter who says them or why. Neither perspective is wrong for feeling exactly what they felt. There's also a broader piece of context worth knowing if you're unfamiliar with Tourette syndrome. It's a neurological condition, and one of its lesser-known but well-documented features is something clinicians call coprolalia, which is an involuntary expression of obscene, taboo, or socially unacceptable words or phrases. It's actually among the rarest symptoms of Tourette syndrome, despite being the one most people associate with the condition because of how shocking and unforgettable it becomes whenever it happens publicly. Most individuals with Tourette syndrome never experience this specific symptom at all. Davidson has spoken openly about this particular part of his condition for years, which is a major reason he became an advocate and why a film was created about his life in the first place. His entire public mission has centered on helping people understand these outbursts come from a neurological malfunction, not from someone's genuine character or hidden beliefs. That distinction becomes incredibly important when thinking about disability etiquette more broadly. The general guidance from disability advocacy organizations is remarkably consistent. An involuntary symptom is never a choice, and it isn't a reflection of the individual's personal values. So responding to it the same way you'd respond to someone deliberately using that language simply isn't accurate or fair. At the same time, disability advocates also generally recognize that the impact of a word doesn't simply disappear because the individual who said it never intended to. Both realities can exist together. You can show compassion toward the person experiencing the tic, while also recognizing that the people on the receiving end are entitled to feel however they genuinely feel about it, without either side being expected to perform a particular emotional response to the cameras. It's also worth paying attention to how the film industry side of this story unfolded, because it reveals something about how these two narratives, the disability story and the slur incident, became permanently intertwined in coverage of that evening. Robert Aramayo, the actor who portrayed Davidson in I Swear, ended up winning Best Actor at the very same ceremony in what several outlets described as a genuine upset, defeating far bigger names in the category. During his acceptance speech, he discussed studying Davidson carefully while preparing for the role and reflected on a conversation he'd shared with another veteran actor that shaped how he viewed his own craft. It should become one of the feel-good stories of the evening. An unknown actor winning for portraying a real disability advocate in a film centered on empathy and misunderstood conditions. Instead, that achievement was completely overshadowed by the outburst itself. And by Monday morning, almost nobody was discussing the acting victory. They were focused on the slur. That's why some commentators later pointed out that regardless of the intent behind the moment, whatever the medical explanation, the practical result was that a major achievement became buried beneath a controversy that had absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the film being honored that evening. Sinners had several members of its cast and crew nominated and celebrated during that ceremony, including Michelle Austin winning Best Supporting Actress and Hannah Beachler's production design contributing to the film's overall recognition. But the headlines the following morning weren't about any of those accomplishments. They focused almost entirely on the outburst. So where does that leave everything? BAFTA has said it's reviewing how disability accommodations are handled during future ceremonies, attempting to determine whether there's a way to include performers and audience members with conditions like Tourette syndrome, while also protecting everyone else present from being unexpectedly confronted by a moment like this during live television. There isn't a perfect solution yet. And it's exactly the kind of challenge award shows, public venues, and major events everywhere are still working through as they try to create spaces that are genuinely inclusive without pretending inclusion is always simple or completely free from friction. What seems especially clear from the way people who genuinely understand Tourette syndrome have responded is this. Davidson didn't do anything wrong in the sense of making a conscious choice. He has a documented neurological condition. He was transparent about it before the ceremony even began. And the specific words that came from him that evening were a symptom, not a personal statement. At the same time, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo didn't do anything wrong either. They were simply doing their jobs during a night that was supposed to celebrate achievement, and they found themselves facing a difficult, unscripted moment before a global audience with absolutely no opportunity to prepare for it or decline involvement. Sometimes a story doesn't offer a simple lesson when everything is over. Sometimes it's simply two genuine truths existing side by side in uncomfortable ways. an involuntary medical symptom, and a real emotional impact on the people who experienced it. And the most honest response anyone can have is acknowledging both instead of choosing one side to blame. That's the complete picture of what happened at the BAFTAs, how the events were reported, and how people have reacted in the aftermath. If you found this breakdown helpful, leave a comment below and share your thoughts about how everything was handled. Do you believe BAFTA and the BBC responded appropriately, or do you think something should have been handled differently that evening? We genuinely love to hear your perspective in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the stories everyone is talking about. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.